Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at the solar wind velocity as it impacts our magnetopause. Now, folks, you're going to see these waves of energy coming from the sun and impacting our magnetopause. This area right here is where I want you to pay very, very close attention to. And we're looking at the velocity, as you can see right up here. But you are going to see these waves of energy come in. I'll go ahead and start the video clip here. And if you watch very carefully, you will see these waves come in one after the other. Now, this is all coming from that coronal hole that I discussed several days ago. And I mentioned that it normally takes about 3 to 5 days before we start to feel these impacts. And as you can see, they're coming in wave after wave after wave. And I was taking a look at some of the actual speeds of this solar wind as it was coming in this morning. And those speeds were reaching pretty close to 2 million miles per hour. Now, I've been keeping my eye on this sunspot 2738 and the smaller one 2739. And as you can see, right where my cursor is, there was another small coronal mass ejection on the back side of the sun. And you can see its disbursement right here in the wave as it comes out. And it does impact Mars a few days into the future. Now, folks, as I've mentioned before, this sunspot 2738-39, it's going to be moving back around in the next couple of days, and it is eventually within the next 7 to 10 days, it's going to be Earth facing. So we are going to be dealing with the exposure. Once this sunspot moves Earth facing, we will be exposed to this and the potential for a coronal mass ejection Earth facing for about 5 days. During that period when it is Earth facing, we will keep a very, very close eye on it. Now, I was able to get onto the back side of the sun, and we're looking at the stereo ahead extreme ultraviolet light 195 angstrom view, and we're looking at the sunspots 2738, 2739. And these were the two sunspots that caused the coronal mass ejections on the back side of the sun that we've been looking at over the last couple of days. And you can see right here in this view, one of them is circled. Here is the other sunspot. And they've been very, very active ever since they turned away from the Earth-facing view about 2 weeks ago. So they have actually made their way around the back side of the sun. And within a few days, we're going to start to see them up here. And we're already seeing some of the activity on the Solar Dynamics Observatory. And we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But again, folks, we are going to see this facing the Earth once again. And when we do, let's just hope that these two sunspots just start to degrade and fizzle out. If not, we are going to be under the gun and on a very intense solar watch for about 5 days as these two sunspots cross the Earth. And again, this will be within the next, well, let's just say the next 5 to 7 days. So again, we're going to be watching this very, very closely, but this is the main source of those coronal mass ejections on the backside of the sun. Now, we're going to be taking a look at the Solar Dynamics Observatory, and I have a split screen up here showing you a composite view which is on the left. And this is several different angstroms of light over here. And we also have the 211, which is the purple side over here to the right. This will show you the majority of the coronal holes that are opening up. And you can see there's a little bit of gapping in the sun's atmosphere. And we'll probably see some more influence of solar wind over the next couple of days. It doesn't look like it's going to be that intense. Right where my cursor is, you could start to see some of these areas. And this is about right where the Earth is. And this is a view from the Earth to the Sun from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. What I want to show you on the composite view to the left, you take a look at all of this area right here. All of this area that you see exposed through the sun's corona. And you can also see a burst if you pay very close attention to this area where my cursor is up here as the video plays through. That is the activity on that sunspot 2738 and 2739. So you can see those coronal mass ejections, that's enough to disturb the sun's corona. You could literally see that burst coming out. And again, this is going to start turning around and it will begin to point towards the Earth, I would say again, over the next 5 to 7 days. And then as it passes across our Earth-facing view, that should take about 5 to 7 days. So folks, when this period begins, we will be on a steady solar watch. The reason why I say that is because we've already seen some pretty intense coronal mass ejections from these sunspots on the backside of the sun. But, you know, there is a good point to that, because during those coronal mass ejections on the backside of the sun, once again, we were able to get really clear views of this Planet X object. And that is the key. Those discoveries, once again, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have an invader in our inner solar system, and it's now part of our solar system and orbiting our sun just about every 28 days. But you can see that last coronal mass ejection right over here, and this is very intense. I've watched many sunspots and solar flares over the years, and when you view this composite image to the left, you get a better view of the sun's corona. And as you can see over here to the right, and especially over here to the right, you can see that over time the sun's corona has shrunk considerably over the past 5 years. But in this time, when we see all of that activity and all of that flaring and filament releases coming from these sunspots, that will definitely create this energetic view that you see over here to the left. So once again, within the next couple of days, we will have a lot to talk about when it comes to these two sunspots, unless by a miracle they degrade and fizzle out, but that's yet to be seen. Now we're going to be taking a look at the LASCO C2 coronagraphs, and as you can see right here, you can see a lot of activity coming from that sunspot 27, 38, and 39. If we come over here and look at the coronagraph, the C2, we can see this steady amount of flaring. So again, folks, I just wanted to go ahead and show you this, but I wanted to show you the intensity that is being created by that sunspot. And it's quite interesting to watch all of this space weather. But when this space weather is facing the Earth, it becomes more than interesting. It becomes a hazard. And as I've stated before, as we dip closer and closer into this solar minimum, that is going to affect the Earth's magnetic field. our shield, our protection. So therefore, when we have this type of space weather and it's intense, it's going to affect our planet in the worst way. And I believe as time goes on throughout this 11-year period of this solar minimum, and with the effects of Planet X and its magnetic field on the sun, we are going to see and experience some very, very interesting times. And the majority of it will be dangerous. We are definitely going to see an increase in earthquake activity around the world. And eventually, this will really, really start to affect our weather patterns around the world. Now, jumping into the earthquake activity that has been sparked by this solar wind that has been blasting the earth over the last couple of days, you can start to see there's a lot of intensity over in the state of California on the west coast. And we're going to go ahead and just zoom in here just a little bit. And we've seen one earthquake here about 8 hours ago. Nothing very, very large, but anything on this San Andreas fault is something that we always have to take close looks at when it deals with California. And you can see 4 hours ago, magnitude 3.32. And then another one 5 hours ago, magnitude 2.95. Nothing major, but you know, when you start to see these straight lines of earthquakes leading down and around this San Andreas fault, it's always something to pay very close attention to. As we move over to the South Pacific, there was a magnitude 5.1, and very, very shallow. As you see the depth here, only 10 kilometers, and a magnitude 5.1. This is just north of the North Island of New Zealand. However, taking a look over on the other side of the earth, right off of Madagascar, magnitude 4.8. And the poor folks over in the eastern side of Africa, they've just been getting just blasted by these storms and these hurricane cyclones. And Mozambique has really, really taken it hard. There are millions of people displaced because of the flooding. And it's going to be a long, hard road for those folks along this eastern coast of Africa. Not too long ago, 2 hours ago, we had a magnitude 6.1. Once again down in the Solomon Islands. And normally, these earthquakes in this region, they tend to be very, very deep. 300, 400, 500 kilometers deep. This one was only 10 kilometers deep. So very, very shallow. I would assume, based on where it was, because you could see it's not very far off of the coast of this one island, and I would definitely think that these people that live down here in the Solomon Islands, they definitely felt that. Now, I doubt very highly if that would produce any type of tsunami, but rolling back over here, you can see the activity picked up. 96 minutes ago, 4.1 in Japan, 4.5 in the Philippines, and once again a 4.6 in the Philippines. So this is probably going to increase as far as earthquake activity over the next couple of days. I would give it 3 to 5 days, and we will once again continue to see this earthquake activity. Here's the thing, folks. Eventually, these magnitude 4, 5, and 6 earthquakes, they're going to turn into high level 6 and 7 magnitude earthquakes. Trust me when I say, when we move further and deeper into this grand solar minimum, this is going to be something that we will talk about every single day. And here's another issue. Areas that do suffer minor seismic activity. We will no longer be looking at minor seismic activity. That is going to increase to either a moderate level or higher than that. Areas that have frequent seismic activity, I would have to say, in my opinion, they're going to be under the gun 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the next 11 years. Now, folks, we're going to be taking a look at some weather activity, some rather intense weather activity that started to occur at around 6 o'clock Eastern Time yesterday, and this is going to play into today as the sun comes up and the atmosphere heats up, temperatures start to rise. We're going to definitely see more of this storm activity through states like Texas, Louisiana, Missouri, Arkansas, all the way up into the states of Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, cutting across over into Kentucky, Ohio, and right here in my neck of the woods in southwestern Pennsylvania around the Pittsburgh region. But right now, I have the satellite slider set to yesterday at 10:40 p.m. UTC time. So this would be about 6 p.m. my time, Eastern time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let this play. And this is going to play all the way up to, let me just slide it forward a little bit here, 8:40 a.m. UTC time. So this is taking it to about 4 o'clock in the morning. So as you can see, folks, these storms are very, very intense. What we've been seeing lately is this increased tornadic activity, tornadoes. And yes, the storms are dangerous, but these tornadoes are wreaking havoc through several states. And here's the thing, I don't think that this is going to end anytime soon. As you can see right here where my cursor is in southern Texas, this hot storm cell right here, it just literally popped up out of nowhere. Storms like that can really, really catch you off guard. I mentioned that in my live stream last night. It's very important that you pay very close attention to your weather as much as you possibly can. I'm going to go ahead and let this play. And once again, you're going to see how our weather systems are going to just continue to move up in this pattern. All of this warmer air is coming from the South Pacific in this very acute angle across Mexico, where it starts to heat up, and then it reaches Texas, southern Texas, where the temperatures are actually warmer. So I'm going to go ahead and let this go through, and you can see how these storms start to develop. And yesterday was just a terrible, terrible day for many states in the South. They saw heavy rains, tornadoes, and very extreme weather. And you can see as that large storm cell moves up through this way, the only good part about that, folks, is higher level, upper level winds sheared the storm apart and it started to dissipate. We had a little bit of rain here in the Pittsburgh area. Once again, one of these odd situations where we had one big loud crack of thunder, and that was it. Just one big loud crack of thunder. It rained for about 10 minutes, and then it was over. But I don't think we're going to be out of the woods in my area for the entire spring and summer going into the fall. I think this same weather pattern is going to continue unless something occurs with this erratic jet stream, something dramatic changes and the jet stream moves further north where it belongs. See, that's the big problem right now. This jet stream has sunk so low and it is so erratic. That is one of the main causes, one of the main reasons why we will continue to see these types of weather patterns. And folks, I'm telling you now, as the temperatures warm, as we move into summertime, getting around the summer solstice, June 20th, June 21st, and from that point on, the atmosphere is going to be heating up even more. Temperatures are going to be on the rise from the south, leading to the north, naturally. And these explosions of weather, we're going to continue to see these probably, I would say, anywhere from the states of Arizona and New Mexico throughout western and northwestern Texas, all the way across the state. For the folks that live in Texas, I think you guys are going to have some really, really wild weather for probably maybe the next 4 to 6 months. And the same is going to apply for folks in Oklahoma. And Tornado Alley is going to get very, very active. Now, not only will we see continued tornadic activity in Tornado Alley, but we're going to continue to see it from states east of Louisiana. Tennessee, I think, is going to be under the gun for some of this tornado activity, it's kind of rare, but it's going to be happening. We may see even more tornado activity in the states of Alabama, Georgia, western South Carolina. The same is going to apply for North Carolina and getting all the way up into Virginia, maybe parts of West Virginia, definitely my neck of the woods, Ohio. The flatter areas are always going to be more active for tornadoes. But, just because you have some hills and valleys and some small foothills and mountains, don't think that you can't have one of these tornadoes touch down. In today's weather times, now everything is possible. So we're going to have to be very careful watching our weather. And again, folks, if you don't have one of these weather apps on your phone, and you're living in one of these areas where you see this weather activity, look, do yourself a favor. Download one of these weather apps on your cell phone. Set the alerts. Pay very close attention to your weather because, folks, as I've mentioned before, people do lose their lives. They have accidents. We have rescue situations. And now we are on the need-to-know basis. This need-to-know basis may save your life. It may get you home from work that day alive to see your family. Now, I wanted to give all of you a quick view of this cyclone Fanny. And as you can see, we're looking at the far eastern coast of India. And you can see the cyclone moving ashore. Just the eye of the hurricane actually skirted shore for quite a bit of time. This was a very, very intense cyclone, folks. And I'm going to be getting some information on the devastation there. As I mentioned the other day, these eastern coastlines of India are very heavily populated. And we're probably going to see quite a bit of damage. I'm sure some of this reporting will be coming out within the next 8 hours. And this cyclone still has more activity. It really hasn't decreased its intensity all that much. It was a very, very powerful storm. As you can see, if you watch it here when it restarts on the video loop, that black area signifies a lot of intensity right near the eye of the hurricane. And the eye of the hurricane skirted the coast for several hours as it moved northward. Even after it made landfall, it still continued with some intensity. It's going to be moving north in the next couple of hours, and it does have a lot of moisture, a lot of precipitation in it. So not only are they going to see heavy wind damage and some storm surge, they're probably going to see some intense flooding. I'll do a complete report on Cyclone Fani later on this afternoon as I compile some more information. Folks, say a prayer for these folks over in India. They're definitely under the gun right now as we speak, as we're watching this live stream. These folks are fighting for their lives. You know, folks, over the last couple of days, I've had a lot of people inquiring about Dr. Albers' books, and they're all on Amazon. And we just struck a deal with Barnes & Noble, and they're currently publishing 3 of our books now. We're going to be uploading all of them to Barnes & Noble over the course of the next week or so, and they will all be published on Barnes & Noble also, and you'll also be able to find them in the Barnes & Noble stores. However, you know, people were asking in these emails and messages, hey, Scott, you know, where can I read about this? Have you documented all of this information? And yes, back in 2017, you know, I prompted Dr. Albers to write the first book. And I told her, hey, listen, you know, we need to compile our data together, and we need to start putting it in a reading format so people can actually read it and share it. And writing a book was the best idea that I can come up with. I've said this before, books have survived for centuries. And again, folks, if you have friends and family members and they're having a hard time believing this and they don't like to watch YouTube, and you've purchased one of our books, lend them the book. Tell them to sit down in their spare time and start reading about it. But Dr. Albers just published her 11th book last week. But all of our books are available on Amazon, from the Chemtrails, the Silent Killer, the book on the Sun Simulator, Planet X Reveals How the Universe Works, and this is Dr. Albers' newest book, Planet X and the Bible. And she wanted to put this book together, and she wanted to draw on some direct correlations of what's happened in the past throughout time. And you all know that Dr. Albers is very religious, and she was tying in some of these things throughout the Bible and correlating them with what is actually happening now. And she did a great job. I edited the book for her and got it published. It's now available in the Kindle format, also available in the paperback. We also did a very in-depth investigation into Hurricane Michael last year and showed the cover-up of that geoengineered storm, and that is out there. And all of our books are on Amazon. Excuse me. They're all available in the Kindle format. If you guys have the Kindle Unlimited, you can read the Kindle version for free. But they're all right here, folks. Even the very first book that Dr. Albers wrote, Planet X, The Awakening, is now. So if you just go to Amazon, and in their little search engine box up there, just simply type in Dr. Claudia Albers. That's all that you have to type in. And it will bring up all of our books, and you can help us continue our research, even though Amazon really only gives us about $1.75 in royalties. You know, one of the most expensive, well, not expensive, but one of the richest companies on the face of this earth, the richest man on the planet, they could only afford to give a starving artist and writer a lousy $1.75 in a royalty. I don't know how people supposedly get rich writing books. You know, we're not trying to get rich doing this, but it was a great idea to help people document for themselves what's actually happening and lend these books to others for them to read. Just make sure you get your book back. But all of the books are on Amazon, folks. And over the course of the next couple of days, we will be publishing more of our books on Barnes & Noble, and they will be available in the stores. You can go to barnesandnoble.com, type in Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X, or just Dr. Claudia Albers. Put that in the search box. The information will come up, and you will be able to order your book. I have edited all of the books. They are all done professionally, beautiful, high-resolution colored images. And again, it is a good way to share this information with people that don't like to watch YouTube or that aren't really computer savvy. So if you do buy one of the books, lend the book to someone and say, listen, take the time, read through the pages, check out the diagrams, look at the photographs, and read it. And as you read it, you'll definitely absorb it. And you know, folks, one more thing. A lot of you send me these inbox messages and emails about getting Planet X News shirts, and especially the chemtrail shirts. And I've said before, the link for the Planet X News online store, it's in the description box right underneath all of our videos. And once you click on that link, it takes you right over to our Planet X News online store. And the chemtrail shirts are always available. And all you need to do is just simply click on it. Brings the information right up. There is a backside print, banned geoengineering. The process is pretty easy to make your order. I had a few people say that they couldn't figure out how to order it. Maybe they don't do a lot of online shopping. Maybe that's a good thing. But you simply select your size right here, put your size in, and then you can check out the colors by simply clicking on them. And once you select the color and your size, and remember, folks, these are also available in ladies' styles of shirts, not just for men. And again, once you select your color, you can check out what it looks like on the back side. And then you just click Buy Now and enter your debit or credit card information. And the shipping is usually done in about 7 days. So there you go. We do have a lot of other designs that I've added over the last week, and people were asking me about Planet X News hats. I am in the process of designing a Planet X News hat. I'm also going to be designing this chemtrail hat. And whenever you wear your chemtrail jersey, folks, like I've said before, people stop me all the time. Whenever I leave my house, I have one of these chemtrail jerseys on. I wear them everywhere. I have, I think, 6 or 7 of them in different colors, and I've designed some different styles over the course of the last year. And I will put some of these other designs back up into the Planet X News online store. Folks, this isn't some big money maker for me and Dr. Albers. I think we get just, I don't even know, I think it's a dollar, I don't know if it's $1.50, $1.75, or $2 or something like that. I don't even pay attention to it. But the reason why I decided to do this was so when you wear the shirt, you're like a walking billboard. And as I've worn my shirts over the last year and a half, I literally have people stop me, complete strangers, at gas stations, in restaurants, in the grocery store, and they know about the chemtrails, and then there are the people that don't know about them, and they ask, hey, what's your shirt all about? You know, last summer, I was outside of my office, and I had a priest in full priest garb come up and say, hey, son, why are you taking photographs of the sky? What do you see up there? And then he started asking me about my shirt. We ended up having a 45-minute conversation out there. And I definitely opened up his eyes. I had a tow truck driver at a gas station come over and want to know where he could buy the shirt that I had on. He knew all about chemtrails. Even though he's just a lonely truck driver and a tow truck driver, he knew about chemtrails. We actually stood there for about 30 minutes and we talked about it. And I told him about our YouTube channels and our books. And he shook my hand and he said, man, keep up the good work. They're poisoning our skies. So if any of you need to know, the link for our online store is right in the description box underneath our videos. And summertime's here, folks. Get out there and let yourself be a rolling banner for banning this geoengineering. And once again, folks, if you are not a member of our private network, our Planet X News private network, get over there and join our private network. Like I've said before, folks, you never know when the boob tube is going to get a bug up their ass and start deleting truther channels. They've done it before. They seem to do this like every couple of months, and then channels just disappear. I mentioned this in my live stream yesterday. All of a sudden, one day, you can come to YouTube and you could be looking for Planet X News, and it's no longer available on the boob tube. And then you're going to be wondering to yourself, yo, man, like, where's Planet X News, dude? They're gone. Where am I going to get my information, dude? But folks, listen, I am able to upload a lot of information to our private network, discuss things that I just can't put on social media. They love giving out those community guideline strikes. They don't like people out there telling the truth. And just to give you a little example, I'm always giving the solar updates and things that are happening within our space weather. And I am currently now sharing our YouTube videos, and you can click on it here if you just happen to be on our private network. And I'm also adding a lot of information to what's happening around the world. And this was just an absolutely terrible situation that occurred in La Paz, Bolivia. Just a massive landslide. It took out a lot of homes. A lot of people were injured. There's a full video here. And folks, I can't show these videos on YouTube. They give me a community guideline strike. It's now part of their rules when you want to show flooding or disasters or natural disasters. It is literally now written into their rules. But it doesn't apply to mainstream media. It only applies to people in the truth community. And that is just not right. And all of the members, I gave them the first opportunity yesterday to check out those pretty cool looking UFO videos that I took, and just complete updates. There is a lot of information that I put up here. And here's the thing, folks. You actually get a notification. You'll get it in your email. I had one lady, I don't know what her problem was. She was a little cranky, and she canceled her subscription after 1 month. And she said, I was getting too many emails because of the notifications. And I usually put anywhere from 5 to 10 articles, sources of information up here each and every day. Now, just because you get an email, that doesn't mean that you have to run to your computer or, open up your cell phone and read everything right there. The main reason why I did this, folks, is because of the censorship on social media. So, whenever you get home and you're relaxing and you're over at your computer, then take the time to log in and check out what I have posted. I had another person who canceled their membership, because you could cancel at any time, folks. But I had one member cancel because he said that he got tired of entering his login information and password. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's a private network. You have a membership to it, but do you bitch and complain when you have to log into your email? Do you bitch and complain when you have to log into your online banking? Sometimes, folks, I think people are just really petty when it comes to some things like that. Oh, I'm getting too many notifications. Oh, I don't want to log into this. That was kind of moronic if you ask me. But if you are a true truther and you want to stay informed in the case that anything happens to Planet X News on the social media platforms, at least you will stay connected. And again, I have been uploading articles here on our private network that you guys are able to download. I showed them in my live stream last night. I'm producing these articles just about every single day, and they're in a PDF format. You can download them into your computer, and now you can take a step up in the truth community. You can use these articles and display them in a screen share on YouTube. Create your own videos. All of the information is right there. I'm doing it all for you. I'm giving you guys the content, and you can start to share it on your own platform. And the same thing applies for some of these videos. I have increased the memory on the Planet X News drive, and I'm able to give you guys access to some investigative reporting and video information that I just can't put on YouTube. They'll either delete it. They've already banned some of my videos worldwide. And I'm just sick and tired of the fight with these social media giants. So I love the access to the private network. We have two levels, a level 5 and a level 10, $5 a month, $10 a month. And folks, that small amount of funding, it does help me and Dr. Albers continue to do what we're doing full time. And when I say full time, I mean full time. I'm up every single day between 3:30 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. and I literally put in usually about a 14-hour day because there is so much going on. And as I've mentioned before, as we continue to dip into this solar minimum, things on Earth are going to increase tenfold. And remember, folks, this just isn't going to be a 1 day, 1 week, 1 month event. We're looking at 11 to possibly 15 years of destruction and disaster. And that is exactly what this is going to cause worldwide. Hell, I might not even be around that long. You never know. So take the time, join up with us here on our private network, and you won't regret it. At least you'll get that notification. And you can set all of your notifications. You can set all of your parameters once you join up with the membership. And I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. They don't censor the information as long as you're not showing some type of extreme violence or pornography or something like that. This platform is absolutely fantastic. If you want to give a donation to Planet X News, you can also do that. But folks, save your money. Join up with our private network. Trust me, you won't be sorry. So folks, that's all that I have for you at this time. I will probably do a live stream early this evening. I'm definitely sure we will have a lot to talk about. I really appreciate all of your support here at Planet X News. Make sure that you check your notifications, stay subscribed, spread the word, and folks, once again, please watch your weather, be safe, and this is Scott from Planet X News. I'm out of here. Take care, folks.